Well, hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jared. I host a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. We go live at 8 a.m. on TikTok and YouTube. And today, I'm making this video to make sure I tell my audience, hey, if you haven't already, you need to download the 5 Calls app and start calling your reps and your senators. Here's why. This big, beautiful reconciliation bill that Donald Trump and the GOP are trying to jam through the Senate right now, it makes tons of changes to shit. And without arguing about stuff, there's this person who's all of a sudden super important, the Senate parliamentarian, and she's ripping this big, beautiful bill apart. For example, before they voted to move it forward the other night, they struck the sale of public lands. Yeah, fuck you, Mike Lee, from the big, beautiful bill. And I wanted to point out that the reason they're doing it this way is so that they can sidestep having to have a 60 vote threshold. So there's a reason why this is crazy, right? Like, not only is it raising the debt ceiling, but it also like gives Donald Trump unchecked power. And they're just trying to ram it through in a reconciliation bill. And I also want to point out, it won't pass. Not only will it not pass, it's going to have to be amended. And then if it does pass the Senate, it has to go back through the House. So I just want to point out, there's no way this happens by July 4th. Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. I'm letting y'all know right now that if that big bill passes by this weekend, hey, that puts, if you're on Medicaid, it puts like a third of the people on Medicaid out of fucking Medicaid. Just so you all know, most of the people on Medicaid are women and children. You voted for that. You voted to starve American women and children. And also, I want to point out, people that have Medicare and Medicaid, they get special health care. I worked in that field for years. Brings a little tear to my eye. That's my clientele. Okay. People on Medicare and Medicaid, poor people that are from where I'm from, like the hills and hollers of Kentucky, right? That's where my family's from. Okay. When you talk to someone that has Medicare and Medicaid, understand that their healthcare pays them money every month for bills and groceries. And almost everyone over a multi-year period that I talked to used every bit of that on food and groceries. So I just want to make sure that you're okay with, and if you're okay with what's going on with this administration, I just want to make sure you're okay with 14 million people, women, children, and the elderly and the disabled, are going to lose the excess money that they get from their healthcare provider for food and groceries. If that doesn't explain how broken our fucking healthcare system is, that people get so fucking destitute, and it's mostly because of their health. I work in finance. I help people get out of debt. If I asked 100 people, how'd you get in this situation? 85 of them are going to say, I had major healthcare issues, or my partner had major healthcare issues. The other, 10% of the people that I talk to, it's their child. Shocker. So, I know that things are kind of stressful right now, and I always want to point out, this does not impact me directly. But it affects people I care about. They don't care, they voted for this. But I just want to make sure, when you don't get Medicaid or Medicare, and your Social Security is gone, and there's no food stamps, and you're forced to starve, don't worry, I'll grow a garden. And I'll grow way more than I need. And I'll just give it away. And for you all that didn't vote for this shit, protest, boycott, strike. People keep talking about when's a great time for a general strike. July 8th through 11th. It's Amazon Prime Days. I'm just saying. It seems like a great time for a general strike. See, a lot of you talk about what we need. I talk about when should we do that shit. When should we do that shit? Because I've already been to like a half a dozen protests. They're protesting every day in Washington, D.C. The president put up fences around the White House and is by the way, rumored to be firing people that are getting in his way, like the Senate parliamentarian. Even if he can't, right? But yeah, that's how it's going to work. So they're going to keep tearing this bill apart, removing the shit that there's no way that's legal or constitutional. And I'm just letting you all know it's not happening by July 4th. It has to pass the Senate and go back through the House. That ain't happening. That ain't happening by July 4th. I'm just throwing that out there. Oh, and a lot of people have been messaging me and asking me my thoughts about the American flag. And it's about to be July 4th. Fly the American flag. Take it back. Take it back. Leave these maggots with the Confederate flag, which is what they deserve. That and a fucking Russian flag. That's what they deserve. Take the American flag back. It's ours. My neighbors have their flags up. I know they didn't vote for this shit either, because they're all retirement age. And there's no fucking way you worked your whole life, invested your whole life into retirement, and voted for Donald Trump for him to come in and not only threaten to take away Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, all that shit. And again, I get it. He ain't going to get any of it. I know. But it's fun to just say, like, if you voted for this, in order to get to this part right here, this conversation right here, you also had to lose like $50K out of your retirement, $50,000 to $70,000 out of your fucking retirement. So for every one of you chuckle fucks that thinks this shit's cute, just understand we're this close to it getting that much worse. You think it's hot outside? Just wait until you lose your house. It's hard to find a place to rent in the summer and the winter. Ask me how I know. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you at 8.